What's going on?
2 days in the book. How you feeling about the defense so far?
Far better than we were last year at this point. One, we got a couple of players out there that played pretty well and had some experience. With the lack of, with not huge numbers, we get to wear them out. So today was a lot better than yesterday, which normally day two is not. Normally day two is you go back to school, the first day of school, you're excited to be there. The second day, great work, school. Well, they had a better attitude today. They were flying around. The perfect tens didn't seem to kill anything. I thought they were actually better, probably the second team period. We've given up a couple deep balls the first 2 days that if that continues, then we'll have to figure out that. I mean, it can't become an issue. So hopefully that's the quarterbacks throwing the ball in the money and the receivers are making great plays, and we'll figure that over the next couple of days.
Without guys, it's obviously hard to evaluate the defensive line with the numbers over there. How's that dynamic working so far?
It's fine. We're the stuff we do around here. We moved another guy over. We had another guy quit. Nami Tuitui decided to hang it up. He just decided that it was better for him, which I'm telling you, it's a common theme. I mean, what we do around here, especially on defense, it ain't easy, and it ain't for everybody. And the ones that fight and make their way through it are better for it, and we're better for it. So without pads on, you can't tell me all that tag stuff out there. The running backs think they score every time, and you get some competitive juices going, which is fun. I have some banter with Eno today that I love. I love his competitive spirit. So we'll see on Friday when we actually run into each other a little bit. No, we moved Mark Walton over tight end to defensive end. He played a little bit of defense in high school, was pretty active. He rolled his ankle yesterday, so to give him an opportunity to get healthy and learn a little bit. I mean, if we throw him out there and he's hurt and doesn't know what to do, he's not going to do anybody any good. So he was with Coach Conley and those guys today. There's that thing that they call Muscle Beach. It ain't Muscle Beach anymore. It's those guys are over there getting their freaking tails ready to come back. It's not a club. So we'll put a stop to that right now. But he was over there, and he'll get all day tomorrow for meeting time, and then we'll get back to have him on Friday if he can move around, and we'll add another body there. Yeah, him and Corey Stevens. And I'll tell you what, Corey Stevens, I was really proud of him yesterday for not knowing what to do and the effort that he played with. He played with the kind of effort that we want everybody to play with. And Coach, he singled him out in the team meeting this morning, and it shows. I mean, it's just a matter of guys wanting to. It's all want to and desire. And you can make up for a lot of mistakes with that desire, and that's kind of that's what we're trying to build.
Coach, you're looking at Merlin inside with Kaylin and Darian kind of outside. Is that just like training everybody to be able to do all the roles?
Yes. So Merlin started the first 2 days at Mike. He will play outside on the line of scrimmage, and we'll put Darian inside and Kaylin. You've noticed, for those who have been out there, we've gone left and right strictly across the board. Safety, corner. I think when you have similar athletes that can do multiple things, we can be a lot more creative with disguise when we leave those guys on the same side. They can't key. I mean, last year Ashari was so much better than the guys athletically in space, coverage-wise, that we put him to the wide field so that we could try and eliminate any matchups. I think between him and Cam and some of the other guys that we have and guys that we're bringing in also, we have the ability that we can match up with anybody. And I think it makes them cross-train. Ashari had a couple of assignment mistakes yesterday because he's not used to, he lined up in the short side of the field, and he's not used to that guy. I mean, they get so focused on one thing and what they do. When you shake something at them, sometimes it just explodes their minds. And so a lot of that is today. The linebackers we put in a coverage today, that the adjustments were different because they're going left and right. Last year, Tyler was more of a dominating force, being able to run our stunts inside, and he was like an extra D lineman. I think with the weight that Merlin's put on and Darian, when we get Tyler back, those guys can all do the same thing. So now we can be a lot more multiple. We can line up. I mean, we can line the secondary up 10 yards across, and the quarterbacks will have no idea what coverage we're playing. So we'll move guys around, we'll cross-train all through spring ball, and then if we get into fall camp and we decide that going back to the other way is, they know it, and everybody knows the position, so it's not hard to make those adjustments.
So you would like to be able to fly out,
Absolutely. I would like, I mean, if Ashari and Cam can stay on their side, and Chase and Kobe and Tamarcus and TA, if they can stay on their sides, then it helps for the speed of the game, because a couple times last year, Ashari got caught out of place because he's chasing the ball in pursuit, and now the field's changed. He's got to run all the way back over there. Well, if they can just stay on their side, it's only one guy running, not those guys having to flip. So I'm excited that we have the ability to do that.
I know you said like wait until they get pass on the seat, but you were doing 7-on-7, kind of yelling at the secondary to quit letting them catch the ball. Once they start getting inside the field and reps, I mean, how big is it now even having pads just to get them in the habit of knocking the ball down?
I think contested balls, whether you have pads on, whether you're in helmets, whether you don't even have helmets on, there's no rules. You can't be afraid to run into somebody. And sometimes I think we're too nice. I think we're too nice as coaches because we allow them to get away with that stuff. And I mean, we've got to set the foundation that when they cross those white lines, understand the tempo of the drill, but compete for every ball. It doesn't matter if you have pads on or not. Nobody's going to get hurt by running into each other. People run into each other all the time if you're going for the football. Now, I don't want a safety or a linebacker to zero in and now they're aiming at the chest of the defender like they might in pads. I want them just to go compete for the ball. And yesterday, the two quarterbacks their percentage was way too high. And so after I think they caught 2 or 3 in a row, being too nice. So get the dang ball out.
How exciting is this time of year for you where, like you say, you kind of get it, see who you have to tell go or whoa, and see who separates from the rest of it?
I think, I mean, I love it because you get to see who on your team is actually going to compete. Because right now they're competing for spots. And a guy that is timid or a guy that doesn't believe in his abilities, they don't stick out. And you get the opportunity. I mean, we're not playing games on Saturday, so you can wear them out all week long, both running into the football, both physically. I mean, it breeds competition. And if we have those guys that are behind them pushing and trying to change the depth chart, then it's a lot more fun for everybody around here. And then it makes the fall. I mean, when you evaluate at the end of spring ball, because we started so early and we literally went from the recruiting to spring ball, most of my self-scout was done in the backseat of a car. So we'll be able to kind of do both a self-scout of the season, see where those guys progressed in spring. The retention has been about what I thought it was since it was less than 2 months since we played. Now, the nuances of keeping those guys left and right, there's been a couple mistakes that I was anticipating, but probably less than I thought there would be, which is a good sign. So, I mean, I love this time of year. I mean, I love football practice. I love going outside. I mean, football, part of the reason football is such a wonderful game and why it's so hard and so few people actually play it and are good at it is it's the only sport in all of sports that you practice more than you play. And you practice a ton, and you get 12 opportunities in a 365-day calendar year. I mean, not very many people are willing to put in the time that it takes to be good at something for so few opportunities. And that's why I think it's special. So that's why this time of year we actually get to be out on the grass and run around and run into each other. And if somebody gets dinged up, they don't have to play Saturday, so it's okay. We got plenty of time till August to get them healed.
This question was asked about like it's earlier. The early signing period forces you, like you said, to do the self-scout in the back of the car while you're doing recruiting during the month of January. Now that you have 2 years doing this cycle, do you like it better?
I love it. I think it's been a really good experience for AP. Back in the day, when you were recruiting and there was one signing day, January was miserable because you are babysitting 25 guys, and as a coordinator, you're talking to 12 or 13 of them on your side of the ball every day. And we have, I mean, there's different philosophies, and there's different. Okay, well, you can schedule that. We're gonna call everybody today. We're gonna write them letters. And if that's how you're gonna recruit, you're gonna look like a bum. It's like shaping. If you don't do it every day, all day, you're not good at it. And so the focus has been taken off of that whole month of January for those guys. They don't have to. You don't have to you don't have to babysit them. You don't have to love them. You don't have to. Now we talk to every single one of the kids that signed in December, except the de-recruiting process starts. Okay, there's no more fancy dinners. There's no more whining and none of that stuff. Now it's okay. Get your stuff done. Get your test scores in. Get your classwork done. Get everything that they need from in the trainings, and so that when you get here for your physical, all that stuff is done. Now it's more business, and so the last couple weeks with what we've been doing through recruiting and AP having a couple guys that we haven't signed that he was the main primary focus, and then we got all the other coaches. Now you got people trying to poach everybody. I mean, we've tried to poach people, and that's gone, and so now you can focus more on football and what your roster is going to look like. Now, the transfer portal, that's added a whole new deal to it, and the new rule to that is, I mean, some people say the idea is that the kids have a little bit more freedom. They don't have to get permission, and you can't block anybody anymore, which that's fine. The transfer portal, I am 100% for, because like I said in the beginning, what we do around here is not easy, and I don't want anybody feeling like they're trapped. If they don't want to be a Sun Devil, we don't want them to be a Sun Devil. We want guys that want to build this program from friggin' blood, sweat, and tears, and you can kind of see a change in the culture when that happens, when there's separation, and the guys that move forward, they don't look back. And I think that's a taste of where we're at, so it's good.
So Marcus Davis, can you talk a little about maybe what he brings? I know he was redshirt we had on the scout team, but what does he add to this?
He adds competition. I thought he had a little bit of a tough day today. He gave up a couple of deep balls, and the good thing was it bothered him. He was a little frustrated by it. You can tell a guy that and DBs that you never get used to getting beat if you're a good DB. Ones that get beat early, if they're not used to it, sometimes you can tell by the amount of emotion that they have. Well, Tamarcus got beat on a deep ball in one-on-ones today, and he slapped the pad by the scissor lift, and he's frustrated. And sometimes they're not used to getting beat because they're not used to playing against such great competition. He played against great competition at Baylor in a different role. Well, now that there's live bullets out there, we're asking him to do some more things in coverage than he's done before. So now the focus to concentrating on, instead of just relying on your athletic ability, you actually have to put some things to it. And so he got beat a couple of times. I think he's going to be better for it. And he adds his twitchiness, his athletic ability. He adds competition to the back end. And I think we have with the guys that are coming in the fall, with the guys that played last year, and some of the guys that are here, we have a opportunity to be a very special secondary. And I mean, my previous school, we led the nation in interceptions over a 3-year period, and that was nothing to do with coaching. It had to do with they were in the right spot, but they put themselves in the right spot, and they were good football players. And there's some guys that are really good athletes that aren't good football players. It's another part of their game that makes it special. You can be a very non-athletic guy, but if you're mean and nasty and violent, you can be a pretty dang good football player. And so we'll see if he continues to grow over the next 13 practices that we have left. It makes me sad we've only got 13 left.
How many perfect athletes today? Does that correspond to those?
It did. The score corresponded to the 7-on-7 in team. We had 32. There was 2 guys yesterday in practice that we did not include. I didn't think it would be fair to punish the whole team for, I mean, we had one guy that of 24 plays, he had 22 loaves. And so obviously he doesn't understand what we're doing around here. And the other guys didn't correct it. So we showed them this morning in the meeting room why, and we singled them out because I'm not afraid when in front of those guys to single out. I think the peer pressure helps. So we had 32. We would have had 52, 54, and then the other. So we would have had 60. I think we ran 41, but the best part of it is we film it. So if they slacked off in those, I'll go back and count them because I got nothing else better to do. If they slacked off within those 40, we add those on to tomorrow. So a couple of them were feeling sorry for themselves. Nobody backed out at all. But if the number goes down, then we're doing our job. If the number doesn't go down, then that's when you have an issue because they ain't buying in. So we'll either make them or they'll quit. And I'm okay with that too.
Now, you talked about competition, you know, There's also competition on the other side of the ball.
Yeah.
Back on the other side, looking at it, what are your thoughts? I know we're still learning, but what are your thoughts on how?
Well, I mean, shoot, yesterday those boys completed 84% of the balls between the two of them. So that's why part of the "we're being way too nice" comments came out, and we had a lot more balls on the ground today. And I don't necessarily think it was the quarterbacks were throwing it any less today than they did yesterday. I think we had some more bodies around and guys realizing they can run into each other a little bit going to compete for the football. But I think we've got four very talented arms over there. I thought Dylan was, and I, not that I'm rooting for any particular guy, maybe I am. Dylan, when he's been in the program for 3 years and 4 years, and he's bought into what we're doing and the transformation that he's made, if a guy like that and the guys like him on your team can be the leader and he's good, well, then you're going to be a better football team. Now, if somebody beats him out, then I'm going to be happy as heck because that means they're better than what we had in the program. And it continues to give you a chance to win. So,
And you kind of talked about that character of a guy that's going to rise to the occasion when he has a competition. So you know what, I'm out of here. It seems like Dylan is kind of.
absolutely. I think Dylan is a Sun Devil at heart, and he loves being here. Because a lot of guys have taken a lot of offense to three true freshman quarterbacks that were highly recruited coming in here. And he never did. He didn't waver one bit. He said, bring on the competition. And this is my football team. This is my job. Somebody's going to have to take it from me. And so far, he looks the part, and he did a nice job yesterday. Now, there's no live bullets when you're running around in T-shirts. And we'll see tomorrow when we put some shoulder pads on. And then next week, we're going to scrimmage a little bit, and we'll see when there's – now, none of those guys are going to be live, so it's a little bit different. But there will be bodies around them. And it'll be nice to see how they react. So that'll be fun.
When you say competition too, linebacker wise, Kyle Soley seems like he's made big improvements from last year. Really
Physique, physically, assignment wise. I mean, I say things about those guys all the time, and Kyle is friggin' the last couple days he has taken charge of that second group and gotten guys lined up. He's really helped out Case Hatch, and I think Case Hatch actually has shown that he might be able to help us. Now, T-shirts and shorts. I mean, a lot of people look really good in T-shirts and shorts, and then live bullets start going and they disappear. So hopefully he will show up tomorrow. On Friday. But I can't speak enough about Kyle, and I mean, we've got Connor, his brother, coming in the fall. And he's got two younger brothers that are 11 and 9. That we'll take all four of the Soles if they're anything like each other. I mean, they breed that. So see, we're recruiting little ones now. See, now I'm gonna get in trouble. I committed a violation for talking about somebody that's not 2020. Yeah, I mean, I'm really proud of Kyle. I mean, if you look at his body, he's put on good weight. He's lean. He's running around. He's taking a challenge to wanting to play. And he's driving competition with, I told Kalen yesterday, he made a couple of assignment mistakes. Kyle didn't. So watch the depth chart when you come back in and see where you're at. So see if he did better today.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Thanks, Coach.
Awesome. Thank you guys.